As English teachers, we want our students to become not only competent writers, but engaged and empathetic learners.
Working in a team setting with 10th grade students at vastly different skill levels, we weren't often seeing the results we wanted. Students were generally unmotivated and unengaged with the literature we were reading.
We wondered if using technology to engage students in reflective writing could help build motivation and empathy in our students while improving their writing skills.
We took a baseline assessment of our students' writing at the beginning of the school year using a common grade-level writing rubric. The rubric grades students on a scale of 1 to 4 in the categories of organization, mechanics, assertions, evidence, and commentary. We found that many students struggled with organization of ideas, grammar, and developing specific examples. We took the average of how students scored in these 5 categories for our baseline data.
During first quarter, we asked students to focus on a goal for personal development while reading Much Ado About Nothing. Students drafted and published blogs about the goals they set, reflecting on successes and failures as the quarter progressed.
At the end, we asked them to compare their personal growth with that of the characters in the play. Many were able to offer strong analogies between their own journey and those of the characters.
We also asked them to think consciously about decisions they were making in their writing and to explain revisions, resulting in more complex paragraphs and thorough responses when compared to the first blog. The use of online commenting allowed students to both see exactly what areas we wanted them to improve on while they worked and allowed them to ask questions and offer explanations themselves.
Second quarter, we asked students to look beyond themselves and into their communities as we read To Kill a Mockingbird, hoping that as students began to realize more about their own communities, they could recognize Scout and Jem's confusion as they learned more about theirs.
Students first identified and explained an issue in their community, then were required to complete 2 interviews with other members of the community before offering an action plan for what should be done to alleviate the problem.
We had students publish their work to a website, which placed added pressure as others in the school were able to see their work. They were also forced to engage with adults in a meaningful way through the interview process.
We reassessed students at this point using the same rubric in order to see how they had progressed in their writing since the beginning of the year. We found that students had made significant progress in organizing and expressing their ideas. The majority of students had reached our goal of improving their overall average rubric score by half a point.
Towards the end of the semester, we surveyed students to try to see how much technology had played a role in their improved writing and to determine how engaged they were by the technology-driven activities we completed as a class. Students gave very positive remarks about how computers helped keep them organized both in and out of school and helped them engage in their work.
While nearly half of our students responded that they were equally comfortable sharing ideas in person or online, the next largest group, 27% of our students, said that they would much rather share ideas online. This is significant considering the nature of an English classroom where different perspectives are encouraged to be shared. Many times, shy students have good ideas that are never heard. Incorporating an online element to class discussions overcomes this barrier.
During third quarter, we paired students together and asked them to explore a national issue, first from an objective research standpoint, and then from a persuasive standpoint, presenting an informed opinion. During this time, we modeled what we asked our students to do by exploring bias in the justice system through the lens of 12 Angry Men.
Students' initial blogs where they presented their research was again published on a website. For the second half of the quarter, they looked at persuasive presentations of their issues in the media and used outlines and storyboards to prepare and create video presentations on their issues.
Should you be protecting yourself against identity theft, which harms 9 million Americans each year?
Some people will argue that it is too hard or that they don't need to protect themselves against identity theft, but our results says otherwise.
Students used Photo Story 3 in order to create polished, finished products. These videos demonstrated that students had improved on the areas we initially identified as problems and worked on all year: the organization of ideas, the use of specific examples, and expanding on commentary. Even students who often fail to turn in written work completed this assignment, motivated by a combination of not wanting to let down their partners and engagement with the technology.
Lo Chan depicts a male who looks terrified at a news article about ISIS while Zika is creeping up behind him, symbolizing a new threat emerging. This also shows that we need to be more aware of Zika and the amount of chaos it has and can cause.
To continue to build on real-world skills with an emphasis on empathetic learning, our fourth quarter is being dedicated to global issues. This quarter, students will work in groups of 4, and each student is being given a real-world career role to help create a model nonprofit organization. Students will present their nonprofit organizations through a mock website. During this time, we will model what we ask our students to do by exploring the global issues surrounding war through the lens of All Quiet on the Western Front.
Throughout the year, we have noticed students are more organized and engaged as a whole with using laptops during class. As far as getting them to build empathy, our most successful quarter was third quarter. As we became more confident in developing our curriculum, we were better able to help students see connections between our literature and their blogs. We were also able to dedicate more time to writing because of using a shorter text, which gave them more time to reflect and connect. As we move into planning for next year, we hope to build in more time for writing and to work to more clearly connect the literature to the students' writing.